Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to The Legacy Archer, where we talk all things nerd. In today's episode, we're going over my pick for my top 10 seasons of the hit TV show Power Rangers. All rankings in this video are purely my own opinion, as well as I don't own any of the footage shown in today's video. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are in your rankings. Also, spoiler warning ahead. Power Rangers is a hit kids TV show that started all the way back in 1993 with the Saban show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But before that, it originated all the way over in Tokyo, Japan in 1973 with the original Super Sentai Go Ranger. Power Rangers was adapted into America all the way back in 1993 with a total of coming up on 30 seasons. Coming in at number 10 for my pick, now, I already know the hate I'm going to be getting for this. I started watching Power Rangers near the end of Super Samurai, so 9-year-old me watching the shiny new team of Rangers has a nostalgic feel to it. I collected all the toys, I watched all the episodes. This was also the first season they made a mobile app and based a gimmick for this season. The Megaforce playing cards were used in one of the coolest morphers we'd ever gotten. This season was the Pokemon of Power Rangers. These cards were also a Ranger playing card game. Now, even though the specific season had not some of the best writing with the character of the Red Ranger, the character of Robo Knight, the whole aspect of the Legendary Rangers, as well as this wasn't a good fit for the 20th anniversary, I love this season purely for the memories of the cast themselves, the toys, the cards, and everything else. Coming in at the number 9 slot, we have... Now, some of you might be surprised that I have the original season to start the whole franchise off so far down on this list. This was an amazing season. It had some of the best characters, villains, and storylines, especially with the Green with Evil miniseries featuring the late but great Jason David Frank as Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, brought under Rita's mind control, later turning good and joining the other team. Now, yes, this season was one of the best, however, I do personally like these next few a bit more. Coming in at number 8, we have... Power Rangers Dino Thunder was truly an amazing season, bringing back the idea of using high school teenagers with attitude being granted dino-themed suits, zords, and powers. Connor, Kira, and Ethan joining up with the OG himself, Dr. Oliver, in this prehistoric season. Similar to Mighty Morphin, Dino Thunder also got an evil ranger, which later turns good. But this time, while Trent, the white Dino Ranger, turned good, a clone of his Dino Gem was made, granting a new pure evil clone of his White Ranger alter ego. I love this season also because it was one of the first seasons that I actually played the game for. Power Rangers Dino Thunder for the Nintendo GameCube was one of my favorite games of all times. I still have so many good memories of playing it till this day. As well as that, one of my favorite episodes from this season was the main 3 Rangers basically doing a sit-down reaction video to the counterpart season, Abba Ranger. Coming in at the number 7 slot, we have... Power Rangers Lost Galaxy really was something for me. Not only did it have such an amazing theme song, but it was also a new and very different story. This was the first season outside of the Zordon era, as well as the first season with a completely new team of Rangers. This season takes on a quest on the Terra Venture, a space station on a mission to find a new planet to habitat on. This season was also a first of many. First time with new Rangers, new villains, new stories, and the first season to ever have a Ranger fall in battle. The character of Kendrick, the Pink Ranger, was on a mission with the Pink In-Space Ranger during the Lost Galaxy and In-Space crossover, where they versus the evil Pink Psycho Ranger, who uses Cassie's morpher to unleash a doom onto the Rangers. Kendrick fights her way into the Void of Darkness and destroying the sword, eventually killing herself in the same blow. Now, this season always gave me so many feelings. Excitement when the Magnet Defender was introduced, joyful when Mike returned from the dead, sadness when the Pink Ranger Kendricks fell, and something here.
That's exactly what you'll get.
And then, you know, I had all the feelings in the world anytime the Yellow Ranger Maya was on screen. This season truly was one to remember and one of my all-time favorite seasons. Coming in at number 6, we have Now, In Space was the season that took place right before Lost Galaxy. Now, this season was one that brought the show back from cancellation. Following the downfall of the Turbo Rangers, TJ, Carlos, Ashley, and Cassie, as well as Alpha 6, went deep into space in hopes to find Zordon, but in the process finding Andros, the Red Space Ranger, who after some irritations, gave the others their astromorphers and turned them into the Space Power Rangers. Now, I love this season not only for the amazing cast, amazing storyline, but one of the best finales in all of Power Rangers history, where Andros gives one final fatal blow to Zordon's energy tube, releasing his wave of good energy, defeating all evil, finally, after 5 years of every season having a defeat. The Rangers finally won, thus ending the Zordon era. Coming in at number 5, we have Samurai was not only the first season produced by Saban in nearly 8 years, it was also, like many other fans, my first season that I had ever actually watched, with it now being shown on Nickelodeon. Samurai was the adaptation of one of my favorite Sentai seasons, Shinkenger. Samurai was about a group of heroes using ancient symbol power to destroy the evil Nylok army, and Master Xandred the head of all of it. Samurai was also the first season other than Mighty Morphin to extend for more than 1 year, introducing the Super Seasons. Still in the same storyline, but an entire new season on its own. Now, while some fans have an issue with the Red Ranger Jaden, played by Alex Hartman, to be too serious, I found him to be one of my favorite Red Rangers of all time, having some of the coolest scenes, like his final duel against Decker, as well as his storyline of handing over leadership to his sister Lorne, and the first ever female Red Ranger. And no, SPD A Squad's Red Ranger does not count as the first female Red because A Squad was not considered Power Rangers. Deal with it. Now, I truly believe this is one of the best seasons for kids, with me having the most collectibles as well as the most watch time and DVD sets. This season was truly one of my favorites of all times, and I will never forget it. Coming in at number 4, we have Dino Charge was a huge season. It wasn't an anniversary season, nor did it have any big cameos or crossovers. It was a big season because critically the last 4 seasons produced by Saban were classified as failures. This season was one they did right. This season also had one of the best characters. Tyler the Red Ranger found the Red Energem while on a dig trying to find answers to where his lost father had gone. Another amazing character was Coda the Blue Ranger, bonding to his blue Energem during the prehistoric age and trapping him in ice for millions of years, causing him to suffer from PTSD while his friends and other Rangers were submerged into ice. This season had so many amazing factors. The only downside I was able to find with this season was so many other missed opportunities, one of which being the Talon Ranger. After introducing the Dark Energem as well as someone to bond to it, Henkel. Being a fan of the Japanese counterpart Kyoryuja, I really hope that they will be able to do just as much for justice to that season as this one. Coming in at number 3, we have Lightspeed Rescue, along with the other 2 last seasons on this list, could all be tied for number 1. It really was a huge struggle to pick what order these go to. Lightspeed Rescue was the first government-run team of Rangers. Captain Mitchell chose 5 individuals, a firefighter, a lifeguard, a trained pilot, a rock climber, and a doctor, to become the Lightspeed Rescue Power Rangers. This season also had one of the first darkest villains, this season's theme being demons. Lightspeed Rescue was also the first season to use a completely original American Ranger, Ryan Mitchell, son of Captain Mitchell and brother to Dana Mitchell, the Pink Ranger. He also, for one, has one of the greatest Ranger backstories. Many years ago, when the 2 were kids, the 2 of them and Captain Mitchell were driving home one Christmas night, and unfortunately got into a car accident, leading their car to go off a cliff. Captain Mitchell was holding onto a tree root and young Dinah, while Ryan was holding onto his shoe, and a result from falling much farther down. We had to watch all 3 screaming and crying in horror as they were dangling, dancing with death. Then suddenly, Ryan fell, plummeting to his death, until a demon grabbed him, taunting Mitchell and taking him hostage up until his 20th birthday, where he then snuck onto the Aqua Base, stealing the newly tested titanium morpher, becoming the evil Titanium Ranger, and soon finding out the truth about that night when they were kids and reverting back to his good self and joining the others as the 6th Lightspeed Rescue Ranger. On top of the amazing storyline of Ryan Mitchell, Lightspeed Rescue also had what I think was the greatest finale in Power Rangers history. While the Red Ranger leaves the team to save Ryan from captivity, only to have the other Rangers being ambushed inside the Aqua Base, destroying it, trapping them inside while it slowly floods with water. We get to see the Rangers rely on their instincts rather than their abilities and powers to figure out a way out of what would be certain death. Like I said, this season along with the next 2 could all be tied for number 1, but legally I have to put them in order. Coming into the number 2 slot, we have RPM is without a doubt the darkest season of Power Rangers to date. This was Disney's last attempt before selling the rights back to Saban, so they went for it, spending every last dollar they had on this season. RPM was set in a post-apocalyptic world. This season also had some majorly dark storylines, starting with Doc K, a childhood prodigy confined into a concrete room by her parents to slave away, eventually creating not only the Ranger Series Operator program, but the main big bad itself, the evil computer virus Vengex. Scott, the Red Ranger Series Operator, a trained Air Force pilot whose brother was shot down and killed while on an op, and Dylan, the Black Ranger Series Operator, whose memories were wiped while he and his sister were taken hostage by the evil Vengex and had his sister taken over and turned evil. And then we have the other Rangers. Flynn, the Blue Ranger Series Operator, who was a great mechanic. Summer, the Yellow Ranger Series Operator, a daughter of a billionaire who wants to marry her off to some schmuck. Ziggy, the Green Ranger Series Operator, some dude who's obsessed with Doc K. And Jem and Gemma, childhood friends of Doc K, who knew her while she invented both Ranger Series Operators and the evil Vengex, later turning into the Gold and Silver Ranger Series Operators. This season also had one of the most devastating finales, having the Rangers' powers stripped from them by Vengex after he takes a mutated form. And in an attempt to defeat the main trio, Vengex strikes the Megazord, defeating both Jem and Gemma. Now, although the Rangers inevitably defeat him, however, the final shot of the season is the sensors on the Rangers' morphers glowing red, showing signs that the Vengex is still alive. Coming in at the number 1 slot is Power Rangers Go! Power Rangers Time Force is my favorite season of all time. I think not only are the Rangers themselves amazing, I love the storytelling from this season with fighting destiny, lifelong feuds, PTSD, and racism. The big bad this season is Rancic, a mutant who was infused with metal bone-made weapons and needing to take various drugs in order to stay sane and well. This season takes place originally in the year 3000 when the police force called Time Force and leader, the Red Ranger Alex, captures the evil terrorist Rancic. However, while being transported by the soon-to-be other Rangers, they were ambushed, and Rancic was set free, fleeing to the year 2001, but not with doing one of the most unimaginable things us fans have ever seen on Power Rangers. In the first episode, Rancic takes the life of the Red Ranger Alex in front of the other Rangers, one of them being Jen Scott, his soon-to-be fiancée. Alex gives his morpher to Jen and telling her about the other morphers and to follow Rancic and bringing him back in custody. Jen, with the help of Lucas, Trip, and Katie, jump into the year 2001, where they find Wes, somebody who looks just like the late Alex, to use the red chronomorpher to unlock the others, and under the leadership of the first ever female leader, Jen Scott, the Pink Ranger, becoming the Time Force Power Rangers. I should also mention that Wes is a rich kid who wants to break away from his father's version of his set destiny. While working as a Time Force Ranger, all Rangers move into a clock tower and start an odd jobs business. Wes's father, Mr. Collins, later forms a private security/police force called the Silver Guardians, where we meet Eric, a lifelong acquaintance of Wes. I say an acquaintance because we come to find out that Eric doesn't care much for Wes, with him having money and Eric having to fight and work for everything he has. After a tough battle that leaves Wes with a shattered helmet, both his father and Eric find out that he is the Time Force Red Ranger, leaving Eric even more annoyed with Wes, even then doing anything he can to retrieve the Quantum Controller, a device that can give him the powers of the 6th Ranger to use for his own personal gain, and becoming the leader of the Silver Guardians and trying to steal the others from Wes to run in under his leadership. Eventually, through many tough battles, it comes down to the final fight versus Rancic. Wes sends the team back to their own time and chooses to fight them all on his own. And we see him and Eric versus an army of Cyclobots, as they not only destroy the clock tower, but take a fatal shot at Eric, rendering him useless to the fight. He unsyncs his voice from his morpher and gives it to Wes to use the QX in battle. In the year 3000, the Rangers are about to have their memories wiped when they jump out last second to return to the year 2001 to assist Wes in the final battle. For the first and only time in Power Rangers history, the big bad himself, Rancic, with the aid of his daughter Nadira, decide to surrender to the Rangers rather than get defeated, returning to the year 3000 to spend the rest of his days in prison for the crimes he committed, leaving Wes and Eric in the present day to run the Silver Guardians as the Red Time Force Ranger and the Quantum Ranger. Now, this season had some of the best storytelling in not only Power Rangers history, but from what I've seen, it has far better story than most shows and movies out nowadays. Now, this year is the Power Rangers 30th season anniversary, and I am so excited to see what comes in Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this list, as well as your pick for your top 10 seasons of Power Rangers. Let's get this video to 5 likes, and we will do a top 10 worst season of Power Rangers. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.